She said it like a joke, but the words hung in the air longer than the laughter. "I prefer younger men," Evelyn said, leaning back in the velvet booth, slowly turning the stem of her glass. Candlelight softened the sharp line of her smile. The club around her pulsed with a calm, steady rhythm, more like a heartbeat than a party. Her friends laughed. The young man across from her, a little too polished, a little too eager, grinned wider. "You prefer younger men," he repeated. "Lucky for you, I'm practically a child." They laughed again. Even Evelyn smiled. "Careful," she said. "Boys grow bored too fast." "I'm not a boy." "We'll see." On the far side of the room, in the half-shadow of a curtain, a man watched them. He sat alone in a high-backed, midnight blue chair. Black suited him the way night suited the sky, and showy, inevitable. He did not drink. He did not join the laughter. He only watched. When Evelyn spoke, his lips curved in the faintest, fleeting smile. Most people never noticed him long enough to see even that. Those who did feel his gaze brushed over them would look away quickly, a quiet unease tightening their throats. They called him the Vampire King. They said he ruled the night with cold cruelty, that this soft, glowing club was his trap, his hunting ground. No one really knew. They only knew the instinctive stillness that came when he was near. So they stayed away. Tonight, though, his attention was fixed on Evelyn. He remembered her from another life in the same city, rain in a narrow alley, a girl in a torn dress shielding a child. Men closing in. Her shaking, stubborn courage. He had stepped between them, spoken one quiet word, and the men had fled as if waking from a nightmare. The girl had looked up at him, eyes wide. "What are you?" "Gone," he'd said, and vanished before she could blink. He had expected to forget her with all the others. He hadn't. Years later, she sat in his club, no child at her side, but still carrying that same guarded light in her eyes. He'd built this place for people like her. A sanctuary disguised as a dangerous legend. The city whispered that no one dared cause trouble here because they were afraid of what the Vampire King would do. No one wondered why, in all the years, there had never been a single broken bone, no real violence, no blood on the floor. They never knew that he nudged anger aside with invisible hands, made blades feel suddenly too heavy, turned grudges into confusion and awkward apologies. He preferred it that way. Let them fear him. Fear kept them safe. Tonight, something changed. The music hesitated, just for a heartbeat. Then the door opened and 3 men walked in, bringing a draft of cold with them. They did not belong. Their coats were rough and practical, their boots built for alleys, not velvet carpets. Eyes sharp, scanning exits, shadows, faces. Hunters. He watched them move through the room, not toward him, but toward Evelyn's table. She didn't notice. She was laughing at some small joke, fingers circling the rim of her glass. Her friends were glowing with easy amusement. The young man across from her basked in their attention. He was the first to see the newcomers. His shoulders tensed, his voice faltered. The first hunter stopped at their table, smiling without warmth. "Evelyn Hart?" he asked softly. Her smile cooled. "I don't know you." "No," he said. "You don't. But we know you. And we know who owns this place." Around them, nothing seemed to change. The band played. Glasses clinked. But at that table, the air grew thin. The hunter's gaze flicked to the young man. "Not your problem," he said. "Unless you stay seated." The suggestion was enough. The young man wavered, then muttered an apology that no one quite heard. His fear had teeth now, a legend in the corner of the room, danger at his table. Quiet instinct pulled him toward the door. By the time Evelyn realized he was truly leaving, he was almost gone. She did not call after him. Her eye stayed on the strangers. "You know what this place is," the tall hunter said. "You know who he is. You walk in his shadow." "I walk where I choose," Evelyn said. Her voice was not loud, but it didn't shake. The hunter almost sounded regretful. "We're not here for you. We're here to finish what should have been done long ago. People like you get caught in the middle." "People like me?" she asked. "You mean the ones who don't run when someone dangerous walks into a room?" Her bravery outpaced her safety, but something inside her refused to shrink. The Vampire King rose from his chair. No lightning, no crack of power. He simply stood, straightened his coat, and stepped out from the shadows. A small silence followed his steps. Nearby conversations hushed. A server nearly dropped a tray, fingers trembling without knowing why. He walked to Evelyn's table at an unhurried pace and stopped just short of her. It was the first time she had seen him this close. He was nothing like the stories, and somehow exactly like them, tall, dark, impossibly composed. His face wasn't kind, but it carried a deep, quiet tiredness she recognized. "Miss Hart," he said, his voice low and smooth. "You seem troubled." The tall hunter stepped forward sharply. "Stay where you are. We've come to end you, monster. This woman is under our protection now." The Vampire King didn't look at him. "Are you?" he asked Evelyn gently. She hesitated, then did the last thing anyone expected. "Why are they really here?" she asked, her eyes on him. The hunter answered automatically. "We're here for him. For everyone." "Yes," she said. "But why walk past everyone else, to me?" Silence rippled between them. The Vampire King's lips curved, just barely. "Because you come here often," he said softly. "They've been watching you. They know you leave late. Alone. They know your roots. They know you don't run from shadows. That makes you tempting. Tempting enough to tell themselves they're saving you." The tall man stiffened. "Enough. You twist everything." "Do I?" the Vampire King asked mildly. "Or is it simply less simple than you'd like?" He looked at the hunters properly then, his gaze neither cruel nor kind. "You used her as bait," he said. "You knew I would not ignore a threat this close to my guests." Evelyn's fingers tightened on the table. "Bait," she whispered. The smallest hunter winced. "We weren't going to hurt you. We just needed him to show himself. We thought you'd be safe. He'd focus on us." "And if I had chosen not to appear?" the Vampire King asked quietly. The question weighed heavy in the air. Evelyn swallowed. "So this wasn't about me," she murmured. "Not really." The hunter's jaw clenched. "You're safer if he's gone." All of you are. You just don't see it yet." Evelyn turned to the Vampire King. "Is that true?" she asked. He considered her for a long moment. "Perhaps," he admitted. "For a time. Until someone harsher takes my place. Someone without rules. Without this." He glanced around the room, the soft lights, the careful calm. "This club is my apology," he said quietly. "And my promise. That not every dark corner must hide teeth. That not every night has to end in blood or regret." He met her eyes, and they were no longer entirely strangers. "Years ago," he added, "you stood in an alley that smelled of wet stone. Men followed you. You stood between them and a child. You asked me what I was." Her breath caught. The memory, half-dreamed for so long, rose up, clear as rain. "How do you know that?" she whispered. "I was there," he said simply. "You asked what I was. I told you I was gone. I left. I did not forget." Her chest tightened. She thought of that child, grown now, calling on Sundays. Of the way she had always felt that night had bent something in her life, though she couldn't say how. "You were under my protection long before this place existed," he said softly. "Tonight is only the first time you've seen it." He turned to the hunters again. "If I were what you imagine," he said, "she wouldn't be breathing. Nor would you, for shouting in my hall. Yet here we are. The only danger in this room is the one you brought with you." Evelyn placed her palm on the table. "No one is bleeding tonight," she said. "Not for me." She looked at the hunters. "You say you're here to protect people like me," she continued. "But you brought danger to my table. You used me without asking. You risked my friends as bait." Her voice stayed calm, but the truth of it made the smallest hunter look away. Then she turned back to the Vampire King. "And you," she said, "how many times have you stood like this, between strangers and harm, letting them blame you so they can sleep easier?" His eyes darkened with something deeper than sadness. "Enough," he said softly. "Enough that being misunderstood feels familiar." The band, sensing the strain, shifted to a quieter melody. Evelyn exhaled. "I don't know what you are," she said. "And maybe I don't want to. But I know this, you didn't have to leave that corner. You could have watched, unseen. No one would have known who kept them safe." A small, tired smile touched her lips. "There's more humanity in that," she added, "than in dragging strangers into a war they never asked for." The tall hunter's anger thinned into uncertainty. "We can't just walk away," he said, but there was no real fire left in it. The Vampire King's voice cooled, but stayed gentle. "You will," he said. "Not because I threaten you, I am tired of threats, but because these people came here to rest from their fears, not to inherit yours." He stepped slightly aside, leaving a clear path to the door. "I won't follow. I don't hunt you. But if you return here, or to any place under my protection, with violence in your hands, then we will have a different talk." His words were simple. The weight behind them was not. The hunters stood there, caught. At last, the smallest one breathed out. "This isn't over," he murmured, though even he sounded unconvinced. The tall hunter searched the Vampire King's face for the monster he had trained his whole life to kill. What he found instead was a weary, patient restraint. Without another word, they turned and walked out. No weapons drawn. No dramatic exit. Just three men stepping back into the cold. The club slowly remembered how to breathe. Conversation returned in small waves. Someone laughed a little too loudly. A server forced a smile and began to move again. Evelyn sat very still. The Vampire King turned back to her. "I am sorry," he said quietly. "You should not have had to be afraid tonight." She let out a shaky breath. "You're apologizing," she said. "From what I've heard, that's not very kingly of you." A faint spark of humor reached his eyes. "You said you prefer younger men," he replied softly. "Perhaps you've been spending too little time with those old enough to remember regret." Despite everything, a small laugh escaped her. "And you?" she asked. "How old are you?" He thought for a moment. "Old enough," he said, "to know that age matters less than what we do with it." His gaze softened. In the end, protection matters more than anything. We guard what we can, accept what we can't, and hope that when someone remembers us, they remember the hand that didn't strike. Her eyes stung suddenly. "Why remember me?" she asked. "Out of everyone you've seen." "Because you didn't run," he said. "Not then. Not now. Most people flee from the dark. You faced it. That kind of courage leaves a mark." He shifted, as if to return to his corner. "Will I see you again?" she asked quickly. He smiled then, gently, almost boyishly, for a fleeting heartbeat. "You already do," he said. "Every time you walk through that door." He stepped back into the dimmer light, his outline dissolving into the familiar shadowed corner. Evelyn hesitated, then rose and followed a few steps. "Wait," she said softly. He paused. Standing close now, she realized that whatever else he was, he did not feel like a nightmare. He felt strangely steady, like a door silently held open in a burning house. "Thank you," she said. He nodded as if she'd only stated a simple fact. "For what it's worth," she added, a small smile warming her face, "I think you're right. Age doesn't matter." She held his gaze. "Protection does." His smile returned, smaller but honest. "Spoken like someone who has done her own protecting," he said. Her thoughts flickered to late-night phone calls, to friends on her couch after bad endings, to that child in the rain years ago. "Maybe," she said. "Maybe that's why I recognized it." For a moment, they just stood there, two quiet figures between candlelight and shadow. Then he inclined his head in a simple, graceful farewell and sank back into his chair. The darkness folded around him again until he looked like just another piece of the room. Only Evelyn knew better now. She returned to her friends. They flooded her with questions. She answered what she could, brushed off the rest, let them keep their comfortable stories. People needed their monsters, sometimes. But as the night went on, her gaze drifted, again and again, to the still figure in the corner. Not menacing. Not looming. Watching. Later, when she stepped out into the cool night alone, the city smelled faintly of wet stone. She walked toward the station, heels tapping softly on the pavement. She did not look over her shoulder. Not because she believed nothing bad could ever happen, but because she had seen enough to know that sometimes, the thing everyone fears is the very thing standing quietly between them and harm. Upstairs, in the velvet-lined room above the street, as the candles burned low and the music softened, the Vampire King closed his eyes and listened to the city breathe. Feared by many. Truly known by almost no one. Misunderstood. Mistrusted. And, in ways that would never quite make it into the stories told about him, quietly, stubbornly kind.